I'm speaking directly to my soul. If you could hear this message, I'm hoping that you'll hear this message and you'll get back to me. I want to talk about the chain of events. The chain of events that led me here in this moment of reflection. The chain of events that ended that phone call with my father feeling like all my years of healing came crashing back down in an instant, or could have, but it's like I caught myself. I caught myself from falling because I knew that if I fell, no one would be there to catch me. I want to talk about the chain of events that led me here in this moment. The chain of events that opened my eyes, the chain of events that had me look at my circumstances from a different perspective. I want to talk about the circumstances that led me down this rabbit hole of self-discovery, opening my eyes so wide to this world I never knew existed, a world beyond my natural eyes, but a world within my spiritual eyes. Soul, do you hear that sigh? I feel like that sigh is a cry of the ugly duckling. The little girl who grew up looking for love anywhere she could find it because her environment did not reflect love. It didn't feel like the kind of love that she knew existed within her heart. It felt cold, it felt bitter, it felt distant, and so I tried to prove myself for love in so many different ways. I tried to pay for my dad's attention. I tried to get him to see me. I tried to be worthy enough for him to love me. And that's how we led right here today in this moment. That's what led us right here. That's what started the chain of events. That's what led me down this rabbit hole, because today, as he called me, he said, "Why are you behind on your car payment?" And I said, "Because you are living with the man that came into my life with false lies and false dreams and promises, and gave me 2 children and ran away and is avoiding responsibility for helping, and I have to be picking up the pieces on my own. I lost everything. And here you are helping him more than you've helped me in my entire life, my entire existence." And so then he said, "What about the car that you have now?" And I said to him, "The car that you took out for the same man in your house right now, let's not forget it's in my name because he had no documentation to put it in his, much like why you put the car in your name right now for him again." You see, sometimes the people that do things for you, they do them with strings attached, because he knew that was never truly for me, but I was taking responsibility as someone that was living in a false illusion, swept up by trying to prove myself to be worthy to another man once again. I noticed that pattern within myself, trying to prove myself to be worthy, not only to men, but to women. Because my connection to worthiness was fractured on both sides. I grew up with my grandparents, and I was not their favorite child. I was the ugly duck. I was the ugly duckling. I was the girl that grew up begging to be seen, the girl that tried to overgive, people please, do whatever I thought necessary just to prove that I was worthy enough to be loved, worthy enough to be seen, approved of, you know? I wanted to impress everyone, and I realized that it wasn't working with my family members, so I sought love elsewhere. I learned from an early age from my father, seeing his pornos on the ground, that love came from between a woman's legs. So when I met my first boyfriend, I thought, this must be how to show him love. And so I opened my legs and brought forth a son. The first time I opened my legs, and guess what? Before I was even 5 months pregnant, he had moved on. As it was only for one thing that love came for. That was not love. I grew to know, but only after so many instances of heartache, of me chasing something that I was never meant to chase. So here I am, staring at these chain of events. The chain of events that led me here today at 31 years old, watching my daughter repeat the exact same pattern with her father. The only difference is that she has a mother that's actually present. Watching it replay itself. In its entirety makes me warn her to stand her ground from now, because look at where I am today. Look at where people pleasing brought me. Look where it got me. I kept forgiving him for all the things he's done in my past. I kept forgiving him for literally everything, and it just brought me more problems, more bills. He does not care about me, my living situation, my kids, anything. It is all to please another man, a stranger. And as I sit here and I reflect, I think it makes perfect sense why he mirrored the men I dated, because I chased them the way I chased him. I did things to please them the way I tried to please him, right? So while sometimes I hold on to the shame of being where I want to be right now, because I know I could be further, but I know that there is a divine purpose. I know that if all of this wasn't happening right now, if my dad wasn't being a jerk and choosing to love and cherish a man he does not know, and watching me and his grandkids go without food, or, you know, without what we need, or help, because I have to still pay bills to put these kids, you know, have a roof over my kids' heads and do everything else, right? So if he knows that and he's choosing not to, I can't look there for love, right? I have to know better now. And if I wasn't put into these situations to see how hard life can get, I don't think that I would be pushing as hard as I'm pushing now to want to be me, to want to be better, you know? I always felt like the ugly duckling, but now it's like I feel like I was the ugly duckling because I was the actual black sheep. I was the one that I stood out amongst a bunch of heartless, cold individuals. There were so many things I look back at that I forgave my father for, you know? And I can't understand why I kept forgiving him, And the thing is, till this day, I still forgive him. I don't hold any envy or any hate towards him. What I will say is that I hold a lot of disappointment, but I know that is also not where I want to be with him, right? I just want to be at a place of neutrality and not think anything, because I know that good things are coming. And when good things, I remember, sorry, I just got this flashback, but I remember when I was 16 and I was coming back from the shelter, and I was telling my dad about how evil I thought that him and my mother were, because I had my son at the time, and they told me that if I had him, they were gonna help. And I was like hungry, like I was in the shelter, like they weren't helping me with anything. And then if they did help, like they would look for the things that they knew I wasn't gonna eat. And then that's the only thing, I swear, that's the only thing they would bring, like tuna and like corned beef. But I still had to eat it because obviously I had no choice, right? There was nothing there. But that was like probably like, out of the entire year, it would be like a little box, and they brought it like twice a year. And that was like, yeah, when I was in the shelter. But yeah, I was telling them about it, and I remember he said to me that even when he's on the street, he would never come and beg me for nothing. Because I told him, I was like, one day you're gonna reap what you sow. Like, you know, the way you're treating me is gonna turn back. You're gonna need my help, and I'm gonna remember the way you treat me. And through all this wickedness he's doing right now, I was like, yo, I'm remembering that for real. I don't know why I still forgave him, and I tried to overlook everything. Like, even when he got married to that woman and told me not to come back to his house because her and her kids are better than his, and or better than me, I mean. And it always seemed to be an issue with me growing up. Like, it was always an issue, always a problem. And I remember I was asking God, why me? Like, whoa, why? Well, I remember when I first had the awakening, I was like, that was the first thing I wanted to ask. I was like, why? Because it's like, it was just so much I was going through, you know, and I couldn't understand, like, what could I have possibly done to deserve this? Like, this is crazy. But I did realize that it was just a journey, you know, and at least I have this experience now. At least I know what it feels like to have a father that is doing this. Honestly, sometimes I can't even really believe it, to be honest with myself. I think that's why I was in such a moment earlier, because I was like, is he really doing this for real? Like, but it's the same thing like how I told my daughter. Like, I told her that, like, the more I forgave her dad, it's like the worse he would cheat on me. Like, it would be the worst of that the next time. Like, it's like if I thought this time was bad, yo, he would top it the next time. It was always something bad until I ended up with PTSD, right? So it was like, it's the same exact thing. It's like the more you forgive them, the more they feel like they can disrespect you. And that's why he's acting like that with my daughter right now. Well, her dad, that's her whole situation, yeah. But that's what I'm trying to say, like, that's why my dad's doing this wicked stuff, because I always forgive them. I always do. I always come when they need help. I'm always the first one to defend them, even as a child. Even when I was in the shelter and he was treating like that, and the child that he was saying that was better than me, turned out to be a jacket. The baby wasn't his to begin with. And when I called him, like, what did the DNA test say? Because I already knew. Even though I was a kid, I was like, no, when he did the DNA test, I was like 19 or 18. It was 18. And I already knew, because when I was a kid and I seen the baby, I was like, this baby don't look like you. But he said that I have issues and whatnot and blah blah blah, and got mad. So, but I knew what I knew as a child. And so he got mad because he knew he already cussed me out and told me a long time, from I was about like 13, 14, that those kids are better than me. So when those people, when he got married to her and she got her papers, she immediately left him, came to Canada, told the people then that how he was beating her up, got all her kids except the little girl, I think, because he sent in the paperwork that she was a jacket. They kept her down there. But all of them came up to Canada, and see, people were threatening him, and even though I was in the shelter, kicked out with no food, he called me to defend him, and I was defending him. And when they were talking shit about my son, he said, that man stepped in once, said anything? No, of course not. Under threatening his life and all kind of stuff. Listen, I'm like, yo, I'm gonna leave that man to time. I'm gonna leave him to time, because there is going to be a day that I am successful and I am wealthy, and he is going to regret the way he has treated me and my kids. All the awful things he has said about my son, he's going to regret. all the awful things, the way he treats me, the way he took money from me when I was in the shelter, the way, like, everything, everything, the whole treatment of me, the way they all treated me like I was like some kind of stray dog. They're gonna regret it, honestly, and all I have to do is stand in my light and stand in my truth. I'm a single mother. I have 5 kids, and I'm doing the best I can to take care of them on my own. I am my support. I am my friend. Literally, all I have is the advice of the angels and my guides, right? I stand as one on my own, and I'm doing more for my kids than their fathers who don't have any responsibilities do. So I know that better is to come, and it's just to keep waiting. It's just to not lose hope. I remember in my dream, for some strange reason, I was encouraging someone just like this. I'm like, don't lose hope. So now I stand before myself, speaking to my soul to say, don't lose hope. Hold on to hope, because that's all you have right now in this moment. This moment, girl, I want you to remember how you have these kids, if there's no furniture, girl, remember how you're doing everything by yourself, and you're trying to make the best of the little you have, and you're still grateful, because I am grateful. Like, I feel like the fact that we don't have furniture gives us time to bond. We're all in one room together, right? And Quebec has this thing where they eat the thing doesn't come with a refrigerator stove, so I have to be making do with what I can. So I bought this little stove, but it's like 1 burner, but we've been surviving for months, right? So it's like, when they take away from my kids and they take away from me, it's like they're just taking away from themselves in the long run, right? Because God will bless you when you bless others. And, you know, little people, sorry guys, I have lots of Vaseline on my mouth because my lip piercing, I just got it done and it's like become super, super dry. And it's disturbing. But yeah, so I'm just toughing it out because I know that I've been manifesting a better future for myself and my kids. I know that my life is changing for the better. I know that I'm just going to keep holding on to hope. Because one day I'm going to be able to look back at these videos and be like, girl, we made it. Oh, remember when we were in that house and you had freaking nothing and you turned to your parents for help and everyone would be laughing at you? Remember, girl, remember when you were 16 in that shelter scared as hell with Christian? Oh my God, 16, girl. Remember when you had no food and you just were reading to take your mind off the hunger? Girl, you made it from 16 on your own and you're 31 right now. You made it, girl. You made it. So, it was freaking hard as hell. It was lonely, it was stressful, but you made it. You freaking made it, girl. So keep holding on to hope, because tomorrow is a better day.